Welcome. We are here with canoekids.com here, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this magazine. And my name is Anne Marie Sanford. I'm the Communications Business Manager with Firstel. And we're excited to be able to share this opportunity with you. And we're here in beautiful Chiging on Manitoulin Island. And we have Kelly Brownbill, who's going to tell us a little bit about what the vision of Canoe Kids about. And we have Betsy from Maggie's restaurant here in Chiging. And we have Mitch Harrison, who's one of the IT individuals with Canoe Kids. We have Leo Bibone, who's also featured in the magazine and has some wonderful stories to tell us. And we also have Kaya here, and she's from Australia. And so she's going to be also involved in the Canoe Kids project. So Kelly, can you tell us what the vision of Canoe Kids is all about?
So the vision of Canoe Kids is to have a medium for Indigenous people to tell their stories. There's a great need for education on Indigenous issues in our country and right across the world. We know that the recent Truth and Reconciliation Commission mentioned education a number of times, how important it was for mainstream Canada to be educated on Indigenous issues. There was a recent report released in Ontario from a group called the People for Education, who say that teachers are woefully undereducated on Indigenous issues. I've been working for myself doing cultural competency training for almost 20 years now, and I'm asked repeatedly for resources. What can we bring into our classrooms to teach our kids? What can I bring into my home that I know is authentic and appropriate material? And that's where Canoe Kids was born. Our premise is that we will actually go into communities and immerse ourselves in their culture and allow them to tell their story. And that's how we met Betsy, and that's how we met Leo, because we wanted to hear from the people of Manitoulin Island. So our first issue of Canoe Kids, our inaugural issue, is based right here in Manitoulin Island. Our next issue will be in Haida Gwaii. We're going out west, and we'll do the same thing there. We'll move into the community and listen to the community tell their story. The magazine is 124 pages. There's no advertising in it. We wanted communities to have the editorial control to say what they wanted to say, to talk about what's important to them, and to share that with the rest of the world.
And so from an educator standpoint, what is the importance of this magazine?
There's not a lot of places where teachers and other educators can go for authentic voices. Not everyone has the luxury of coming to Manitoulin Island and eating at Maggie's restaurant or walking through the woods with Leo. We're able to capture that on the pages so that they can bring it into their classroom or into their home. As well as the magazine, canoekids.com will offer a number of online resources, like the coloring book pages for the young kids. They can download them so they don't have to rip them out of the magazine. We'll have pieces for teachers to be able to take the stories in Canoe Kids and work them into their curriculum, so that we can allow people the opportunity to participate in the life of these communities without having to leave their own home.
That's amazing. And Betsy, maybe you can tell us about how Canoe Kids has impacted your life.
I think it's awesome. I know my mom would have really loved the book. Like, she always wanted to do a book. She always says to me, Mom, you have to start a book. And then she says, I leave it up to you, but I don't think I could have done it. And then you guys showed up, and I thought, wow, she was right. I guess she's seen something that I didn't see, that you guys are going to be around. I don't know. So I think it's great. Yeah.
And in reading the article, I understand that you're on the third generation for your restaurant. And the food is absolutely amazing. It's all home cooked.
Yeah, my daughter is, she's there with me. We've been together ever since Mom left us in 2005. She loves to cook, and I love to cook. While we grew up, I guess we were born to cook. It was her vision. She wanted her own little cafe. She did it at home. She did everything at home, and then she wanted to share it with the people. And then it was her pride and joy, the restaurant.
And Leo, you're featured in the magazine too.
From beginning of time, let's say 500 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, 3,000, 5,000 years ago, there was no store, and yet we had to live. There was no store. So, and this is what represents. Just all these foods that are in here. goes back from the beginning of the Anishinaabe people. It's very simple. Everything is here is delicate, and so we are too. We are very delicate, you know, just like that grass there, you know, and we're all together, you know, and so that's you have to know that connection here, what we have, you know.
But Leo, in reading your article, I understand that you live off the grid, and
Yes.
you very, very connected to Mother Earth, and and hearing your stories and your knowledge of the First Nations culture is something that through this magazine we'll be able to share through the school systems and of your knowledge and experience, and that's just absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Canoe Kids is quite an interesting project because they're moving towards social media, and they've brought Mitch and Kaya on board. And Mitch, maybe you can tell us a little bit how your involvement with the social media is going to work around canoekids.com.
Yeah, so today more than ever, everyone is connected online, and the magazine is an amazing concept, but there are still a lot of people that want to have more options, right? So by integrating it into social media, we can have people will read the magazine, maybe want to see more. We'll have tons more content online, and we'll have options for lesson plans for classes. You can tune in with people that are on location in these amazing places and learn from the Indigenous peoples in the area, from PhDs in the area. They'll see us doing these things that we would otherwise never be able to do for this.
So we also have Kaya Miller here, and it's exciting to have her involved in this project because Kaya is from Australia, and she's able to provide a global perspective on this project. And I'll let Kaya explain her involvement with canoe projects and how she's going to be able to share her international knowledge with this.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to participate in Canoe Kids and be a part of the team from Australia, so I'm learning about the Indigenous people from Manitoulin Island, which is amazing, and reading Betsy's story, which is incredible in itself. Having soup there this morning, which was absolutely delicious. Not just the magazine, there's also like the digital copy that will be perfect in schools and for kids all around the world to be able to in-tune themselves with the Indigenous people. And it's a great opportunity for not only me but Mitch and everybody who will get to see Canoe Kids and be a part of what we're trying to achieve here.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for sharing with us, Kaya. Right. You'll be able to see some of the beautiful photography that's in this magazine, and we have Kevin Milne here, who's the lead behind a lot of the photography here, and he's got some fantastic experience, and he's one of the key roles involved with this project. And so Kevin, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your excitement in being involved in this Canoe Kids project.
Sure. For me, there's two main component parts, and the first is providing an opportunity for people. And so apart from allowing an opportunity for people to really learn how much we are in debt to First Nations people, they've been here since time immemorial. And if we can facilitate the introduction to the philosophies and intellect and great traditional knowledge of Indigenous people, it means that we have an opportunity to listen and learn from them, so that maybe we'll have an environment. As you know, the Indigenous peoples of the world are the best caretakers of the land and the water in the world. We believe put together a theme that really resonates. It's got the history and the culture, but it's got the connection to today and tomorrow as well. And then when I have a chance to work with such an extraordinary crew of people, that is what drives me.
Now, in this magazine, and this is, I've had a chance to go through this and actually share this with my son, who's 8, and it has wonderful stories in here that you as a family can share as a whole and read to your children and share. And as educators, if you have the opportunity to go on canoekids.com and to be able to share this within the classroom, And I understand also, Kevin, that you're going to be going to a number of different communities where we'll be able to do some live streaming and be able to share that within the school. So,
Well, there's at this moment there are 24 peoples and locations, so they stretch from around the world. I think it's very important to understand why we were so lucky to meet Anne-Marie and First Tell, because we have an opportunity where our social media folks, Kaya and Mitch, can facilitate live streaming and education, but not simply from a standpoint of curriculum, but also for fun and wonder and awe. But we need a partner that's rock solid and knowledgeable. We have the ability then, through your connections, to have great cinematography and photography, as well as the expertise that First Tell brings through you. If we can do live streaming for fun and education in an empowering fashion, and have a rock solid partner like First Tell and yourselves, where it can bounce from there to around the world, and then at some point then recreate those and create a catalog of events that are authored podcasts, so that these things will become available even after the fact. A library of resource material that people will be able to use and learn and understand, but most importantly, to have fun and be in awe of. And if we can accomplish that, then that's the goal that we're setting out to do.
well, Kevin, it was a pleasure chatting with you, and do take the opportunity to check out canoekids.com and share this with your family and your community. Chimigwich.